All right, welcome everyone to the All About Nothing podcast kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. With me is the host of Black, White, and Blue in the South, a podcast with Dr. Jameel Brooks, Mr. Bill Kimler. You can follow him across social media at Political Bill SC. If you want to participate in the show, you can chat with us on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. You can find links at the top of our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. The week is not over, is it?
No.
that was
This is the least holiday feeling I've ever felt during a holiday.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like today is just a Monday. I don't feel like it's Thanksgiving Eve. I don't feel like there's Thanksgiving tomorrow, or even that Christmas season comes the day after.
This is
just not feeling it.
This is also one of the latest Thanksgivings that we have experienced in the last few years. Like,
it is.
Normally,
that means the Christmas shopping season is a lot shorter than normal. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's gonna be shorter.
I feel like I'm the worst. I am the worst when it comes to holiday shopping. I hate the whole process. It gives me anxiety. Not good at it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Let me buy stuff for myself and then leave me alone. That's how it would make me happy.
One of the things I do appreciate is the Amazon wish lists. And if people make them public or at least send a link, then I can at least see what it is that they want.
Yeah.
And then I can use that to my discretion. It's a very convenient way of doing something. And then if I don't even feel like wrapping it, I can literally have it shipped to their house in one of those Amazon navy blue bags.
Yeah.
I never have to think about it again. I'm just not, I don't know. You've known me for several years. The holidays really aren't that big a deal to me. And what's funny is, like, resources that I have, the ones that live in India or that work out of India, they ask me, how do you celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that? And I said, with as little investment as I can, emotionally, physically, whatever, because I'm just not a holiday person. I don't enjoy the holidays. It feels like a lot of Hallmark intertwined, and it's
like you feel like it's forced upon you.
It does, yeah.
And you have to comply with the tradition, otherwise you'll be ostracized.
Yeah But
that's a terrible way to look at it, Barrett. I'm sorry you don't celebrate the birth of Christ like the rest of us do in America. That's just a shame. That's why you don't have the spirit.
You meant to say the rest of us in America in December, anyway, we won't get into all the theology.
Yeah, on December 26th, we go back to not caring. But up until
right.
then, it's the Christmas spirit.
You know what? We can get into that, but I'll just say I really hope that there was a Christ that existed. I just wish that Christians represented Christ better. That's.
You know what I've been on a kick on recently?
What's that?
Is reading the Gospels that didn't make the final cut.
The final cut set by man, right?
Right. The Apocrypha, basically. Right. So, you've got the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then there's like 20 more that were floating out there around that exact same time. And some of them contain some really weird things in them. The Gospel according to Judas.
Yeah.
Judas was like a supreme spiritual creature. Gospels according to everybody. They were really interesting.
There was also the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. There was the Gospel of Jesus's mother Mary. There were a lot of Gospels that.
Yeah.
And ultimately they picked 4 Gospels that tell the same story in a lot of ways, but also contradict each other in so many ways. And I don't think a lot of people understand just how different the Gospel of John compared to the Gospel of Mark, and how the things that are expressed that Jesus did, the way that Jesus did things was so different. Well,
I'll tell you this. As you know my background, I grew up Catholic.
Sure.
Went to Catholic school, got out of the churchy thing for like 20 years after college, and then just recently found my way back into Presbyterianism. And I'm not one to proselytize. I could care less what you believe or what you don't believe. So I
agreed.
like to poke fun once in a while. But I will say this: in the last 2 years, I have been involved in a weekly Bible study that has approached it with a very academic viewpoint.
Yeah.
And I have actually gotten to learn so much about this same Bible that I've read a million times growing up, and now just understanding it completely different in the cultural and historical context and the linguistic context that it's in. And some of those stupidest things I remember seeing in there actually makes so much more sense now because I know more about the culture of the time and whatever happened represented.
Yeah.
That, today, 21st century, you wouldn't be able to understand it. Like, for example, I actually saw a comic do a stand-up routine on this. There's this one scene in Matthew where Jesus walked by a fig tree that was out of season. The fig tree didn't have any fruit on it. Jesus got pissed off, so he cursed the fig tree and it withered and died. Like, I read that and people just blow over it. Like, you'll never hear that read in a Sunday service because it's so depressing and it makes Jesus look like a fig bully. Right.
I will say you won't hear it in Sunday service in an evangelical or non-denominational church. You will hear it. I heard it 6 times when I was a Catholic, because in the Catholic liturgy, like the calendar, we would read the Bible 3 times or once over the course of 3 years. So you would go through the Bible 3 times, once every 3 years. So, yeah, but yeah.
Well, anyhow, that story was just always bonkers. Never made any logical sense. It's like he just went by and picked on a fig tree for no reason at all. But then when you actually read about back in the day, what figs represented versus other fruits, like there's all these representations from an Eastern culture.
Yeah.
And really that whole story was about him calling out the leadership of the day, the Jewish priest class, how they were rotten to the core.
Yeah.
And that was, was there ever an actual fig tree? Maybe, maybe not, but that wasn't even the point. The point was the fig actually represented the fruit of the high priests. And then you get into this analysis and you look at the words, and the words are similar. You can even see where there was mistranslations when it went from Hebrew to Greek and then Greek to Latin. You can see where the same word got slightly interpreted wrong.
Yeah.
I am riveted by that kind of stuff. So it's a Bible study where you're not just forced to read and then go, well, what do you think Jesus means in your life? It's not like that at all. It's truly an academic study of it that just gets underneath the hood.
Yeah.
And I found that riveting.
And the reason that I chose to be Catholic was because I always believed that I
Did you choose?
Yeah. I became a Catholic as an adult.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I took the RCIA classes and that's how I got to be close friends with the priest that was my priest out here in Lexington. I mean, we used to play poker on Friday nights.
I'll tell you a true story. I grew up Catholic. I was an altar boy, and there was this young priest. I would put him maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, Father George, and he liked to wrestle with the altar boys down in the basement of the rectory.
Red flag.
Yeah, well, but this was the early 80s, so I don't know that there were flags at the time per se.
There should have been, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But he would put on his wrestling gear with the headset and and the guy weighed like 90 pounds. He was a scrawny guy. I mean, basically the altar boys could kick his ass, and the 7th grade, 6th grade altar boys. But that was an absolute true story. And I was like, my goodness, I can't, if that even happened today, remotely happened today, the church would burn down.
Yeah. Or they would get elected to be a representative from Ohio, Jim Jordan. Real quick, do need to read this. I want to let everybody know about a great community event coming up.
Can we pick a different story to segue from that? I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think so. Community event coming up in Irmo. Neighbors Helping Neighbors, along with Mary's Mobile Market, is hosting the Joy of Giving Drive on Saturday, December 7th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Moore Park on East Drive. All donations will go directly to the community organizations like Sharing God's Love, Gifts for Grands, Seven Oaks Senior Center, Senior Services, Palmetto Place, Epworth Lutheran Center Services, and others. If you want more information, you can contact Julie Zimmerman at her email address, juliezimmermansc@gmail.com, or you can check the show notes for that. Yeah, sorry. If I didn't say it now, it wasn't going to get said, and I promise
You
that
could
I
have
would
picked a different time to say it, though. That's the problem.
I don't think you want me to say it after my my thankfuls.
Oh, that's right. We got some thankfulness. How many did you see? 10? I only have 3.
No. I did 5. I did 5. After your text message back, I was like, well, I'll just cut it off here. Because I could have gone on. Was going to say that talk about this real quick. The in Georgia, the election interference case against President Donald Trump and others has been dismissed after the prosecutor who took over the case requested that it be dropped. And he said this in quote, in my professional judgment, the citizens of Georgia are not served by pursuing a case in full for another 5 to 10 years. The executive director of the prosecuting attorney council for Georgia, who took over the case after the original prosecutor was disqualified from the case was dismissed within minutes by the judge overseeing it. Really disappointing that once again, Teflon Don has just completely abdicated from any responsibility of something that was, in my opinion, slam dunk. I mean, you literally had a phone recording of him talking to the Secretary of State of Georgia saying, just find me 11,760 votes or whatever it was he asked for. Literally 1 vote more than he lost by. And that's insane. I don't get it. No comment.
I don't know what to say. Oh, first of all, I do know what to say. Is I'm pissed at that original prosecutor.
Oh, for sure.
I forget her name. What is her name?
I don't remember.
She even fundraised here in South Carolina, and I knew a bunch of people that went to her fundraiser. And she ended up having an affair with the prosecutor she appointed.
So she had been in a relationship, and this is based on what I remember from it. She had been in a relationship with him prior to the investigation, and when as the prosecutor of that, or after she was chosen the prosecutor, she hired him on, still in a relationship, as one of her counsel.
Right.
And while relationships start in office settings all the time, but it would have been appropriate not to hire him. That's because
she's paid by the taxpayer. She's
correct.
A public official, and to use taxpayer dollars to have your booty call, they're working with you and paid as well. She just shows a lack of judgment.
Yeah.
That submarined the whole case. I mean, otherwise it was a very good case.
Yeah.
But then it got stalled because of that and gave him all the excuses to get out of it. And now he's out of it. That just pisses me off.
You had adjacent cases that were found to be against the defendant, whether it was Trump or others involved in the Trump organization. The attempt to circumvent the fact that they had threats that were made against literally poll workers. That ultimately there were 2 poll workers that had threats made against them because Rudy Giuliani had called them out by name. And these 2 individuals, I think it was a mother and a daughter, had to abandon their home, move out of town in order to get away from it. They had a settlement in the millions of dollars from Rudy Giuliani, which they'll never see.
I think they actually did get collected some of that. Yeah, finally they were able to confiscate. It took a while, but I think they did get.
He was selling a stamp collection or something like that,
yeah.
But I don't understand it. And then to have the opportunity to reignite that case, because anyone that tries to the claims about our elections being insecure, this is the greatest evidence ever created by a man of potential harm being done to our election system by a president who didn't like the outcome of the election and just started called a Republican state Secretary of State for the state of Georgia, Raffensperger, and asked him just to say, we found these votes. And that, you know, it's insane to me. That right there is election fraud. And we just let them off the hook. It's just insane to me. I don't know. I was going to ask you, what do Paramount, Donald Trump, and Chris Tucker have in common?
Well, you threw me with the Chris Tucker thing. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. They're not, you know, Trump's not in Jumanji.
Yeah.
I think Jumanji was a Paramount film.
Was it? It might have been.
No idea.
It might have been Universal. I think that was a Universal.
Yeah, maybe. All right, go ahead. Tell me what they have in common.
Paramount is on the verge of greenlighting the fourth installment of the Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan buddy cop movie Rush Hour 4. Is this something the world needs? I just want to remind everyone, Jackie Chan as of this year is 71 years old, and based on statistics, if his character is the same age,
I'm sorry. Did you say was Trump in there or no?
Yeah. So Trump is the one that coerced Paramount into greenlighting the buddy cop movie.
Where are you sure you're not reading The Onion over there?
No,
I mean, where are you getting these news sources from?
It's on the AP. It was on apnews.org. Jackie Chan being 71, he would be retired by now by 16 years. Statistically, if he was still a cop in Hong Kong. I don't know. Chris Tucker's 54. He could still potentially be a detective. But yeah, so does the world need a Rush Hour 4?
You're the president of the United States. Why are you giving a shit about Rush Hour 4?
That is a great question. These are.
Don't you have a healthcare system to figure out? Don't you have a Ukraine-Russian war to figure out that doesn't involve surrendering Ukraine
Is it
to the invaders?
You mentioned the healthcare system. Is it embarrassing that Donald Trump's White House put out statement saying that they would be releasing the updated or what they were going to try and push through legislation as far as the healthcare system? And essentially all it was extending the Obama tax credits. That's all it really was. But they were going to make this big announcement the other day. And then when he got word that there was virtually no support from House Republicans, who ultimately, I to their credit, seemed to be standing up against him on some things. But his plan was to extend the Obama tax credits from COVID in order to make healthcare more affordable, which if somebody said all of that without saying that it was Trump doing it, I'd been, yeah, I'm in favor of it. And then when they throw in Trump, I'd be like, fuck, I'm still in favor of it. But the House basically said they weren't going to support it. And minutes after saying that they were going to have a press conference about it and they were going to push forward with it, they had to retract all that and say, no press conference. We're not going to be talking about healthcare. And the whole deal with the tax credits or the tax subsidies, I'm still not a fan of how we handle healthcare in this country, which is we're just going to let the insurance companies continue to over bloat the expense of healthcare. The government's going to provide subsidies for it. That doesn't fix healthcare. It doesn't. I mean, and you're talking, a lot of the focus has been on the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and extending the subsidies for that. But the real poison is with, get a job, have your company insurance plan. Those premiums are going up by 7% year over year. So there are people who are working, making a salary. They're going to find themselves having to cut expenses elsewhere because their health insurance rates just even at work went up. This whole process of having to work in order to get access to the medical system is bonkers. It doesn't work. How many more places can we make cuts to survive? Yeah. Because I know for some companies that you work for, there are, because of the broker agreement between the employer and the insurance, the broker has managed to bring down the price, but it's based on 100% participation. So if you go to work for a company, by agreeing to work for them and them agreeing to pay you, you have also agreed to take on this insurance. When I worked at one company, the last company I worked at, every year, more than a quarter of my paycheck every year went to pay for health coverage for me and my family. So, and I'll just say it was 24 grand a year that it was costing me in order to pay for healthcare. It was a small company. I get it. And we certainly could have chosen one of the lower care, but lower care means higher deductible or less access or access to fewer doctors that would.
Does your current employer require you to take like a biometric screening in order to get discounts on your medical? Oh, my company does, and it pisses me off to no end. So it's like you have to pay. You can get a $3,000, I think it was $3,000 a discount on your health insurance a year if you submit your blood testing to go to a doctor, and then you get measurements on things like your cholesterol and lipids and this and that, and then you have to meet certain metrics. Like you have to have a certain waistline or less. You have to. I mean, there's just some really dumb things that they mandate in this. I'm a 53-year-old man. It's like it doesn't matter if you're a 21-year-old or a 60-year-old. It's the same metrics you have to meet in order to qualify for this or get doctor's waivers, right?
So the company you work for now, I worked for 25 years ago.
The only one that I could think is a valid metric is smoking, right? Sure. Smoking, like you take a test to prove you're a non-smoker, and I get that. Like to me, because that's a pure health risk right there, and maybe you should pay a little more for your health insurance if you're a certified smoker. And I know there's a million other bad habits out there. People eat ice cream all day, should probably pay higher rates as well. But smoking is a definite. Yeah. But some of these other ones, I'm not going to have the fucking waist circumference that 21-year-old Bill had. That's not going to happen. I would have to lose half of me to get back down to that weight. It's just not, it makes me mad. It's like, none of your business what my cholesterol level is. Get out of here.
Yeah. The contractual agreement between you and me or you and the company you work for, as far as I'm concerned, I show up, I do the work. You pay me for doing the work. Health insurance, in my opinion, most companies should have the option of, you should have the option, but I also believe, I'm going to tell you right now, if Donald Trump came out tomorrow and said he is going to sign an executive order to remove the mandate from the Medicare requirements that people be 65 years and over or older and allow Medicare to be applied for by anyone, I would be happy to pay a little bit more in taxes or whatever requirement in taxes if I could abandon the health insurance that I have. I worked in Medicare for almost 15 years. I know the ins and outs. I know how well it's managed and ran, years past. Although, again,
the fact that you worked in it for 15 years gives me pause to go on it. I was like, man, would I want a program that hired Barrett? I don't think I would.
Hey, well, I will have you know that in the 15 years that I worked on that program, I was employee of the year 1 year. I was employee of the year for my division another year.
You're not helping the case. Any company that would make you employee of the year is a suspect company.
All right, fine, fair. But it is absolutely one of the most efficient government programs that is currently running. And the fact that they have an administrative cost of almost every year over year of 1% or less administrative cost, I think is proof of government efficiency. And I stand by that. So, my parents are on Medicare. I know people I work with that are this close and can't wait to get on Medicare just because they don't go to the doctor that often. And if they do, being on Medicare has a lot of benefits to it. The premiums are low. The deductible is low. You have part A, B, and D. And Part A is for your emergency care service, hospital services. B is for the non-hospital services, ambulance, air, things like that. And then D is for your durable medical equipment. My insurance, I think, covers durable medical equipment, but I don't know for certain. I'd have to go look. I don't ever read the damn pamphlet. I get tired of reading that thing. It's the same thing every year. I look at the premium and I look at the deductible. If the premium goes up and the deductible goes up, it's costing me more.
I can't even tell you when the last medical bill I've had was. I mean, there has never been a year probably since I worked professionally, so now 30 years, where I've ever had a year where I've met a deductible.
Really?
I've just been that lucky with the health that I've had no surgeries. I've had no accidents. I've had, an occasional minor trip to the emergency room for minor things, but nothing major that actually racked up any medical bills. I'm the insurance company's dream.
I'm going to give you the opposite. The company I work for now, when I started with them, the deductible was so low that I did meet the deductible pretty early on in the year. And now where the deductible is, I struggle to get to that because I don't go to the doctor probably often enough. And I have the benefit of some other insurances for other brain stuff. So, those don't get used on my regular insurance. So anyway, it is the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
do you want to talk about some of the things you're thankful for?
Let's talk about it. Let's have a day of thanks. Let's be grateful for the blessings that we have. Do you have any Thanksgiving blessing music?
I don't.
Man, you should have come prepared. We should have had some, dinner clanking sounds or something, like at a restaurant or
anything I'd want to run through the board. I'd have to do it on the iPad, which is on TikTok. So sorry. I'll go first.
Well, okay.
First thing I do want to say is I am thankful for this podcast, all the people that support the podcast and the dozens of guests that we've had this year that have taken time to appear on the medium. All of you, and I mean every single one of you, is deserving of a heartfelt appreciation from me. None of you are going to get it, but you definitely deserve
it. Oh, you just got it, you sneaky bastard. You gave it to them anyway. Well, I'll start off by being grateful, and this is something that you've not heard for the first time. I'm grateful for you, and this is God's honest truth. The last 3 years of doing my own podcast has been some of the most rewarding experiences, going back to probably when I was doing college radio. I didn't realize how much I missed it. And then being on your show back in the day, and then kind of getting the bug myself, and you giving me a little bit of the ropes and guidance to get started, being part of the big media empire. Great 3 years. Every episode I've ever done has been a joy, and I have you to thank for that.
Well, I will say what you and Dr. Jamil created and the effort that has been put into what you all do is outstanding. And not to plug your episode that came out today, but what a fucking fun episode. Like from beginning to end, Stacy is fantastic.
She's
fun.
She's a can of Jolt. She just inserted a lot of energy into that dynamic.
Yeah. Did you have to cut out any extended laughing?
No, very little cuts were done.
There was a lot of laughing. She thoroughly enjoyed it. You two seem to enjoy it, and absolutely suggest everyone go out there and check out the latest episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South, because it was fantastic. It was fun. It was just fun to listen to. So,
thank you.
And I appreciate your sincere thanks.
I thought we were coming to the table with sarcastic thanks, but you started off with a serious one, so fuck you. I had to counter with a serious one as well.
I didn't.
But now I'm going sarcastic, so enough with the serious.
All right. I am thankful that on this planet that there are only a handful of people that know my phone number, and only a few of those have any expectation that I will potentially call or text them back.
Oh, wow. You know what my first thankfulness item was? It had to do with my phone number.
Oh, really?
I am thankful that my phone number is fucking out there everywhere. And I am getting 20 texts a day from everybody all over the country, from Mark Kelly looking for money to a dog catcher running for office in East Bumblefuck, North Dakota. Somehow my number has gotten out there as I'm a super donor willing to give to anybody for anything. And my phone is just texting off the hook.
Well,
so I've got the opposite problem.
I've already filled out the application for your sainthood. So not being Catholic anymore doesn't matter. They don't care about that part. I did want to say that in reflecting on what this year has brought and everything that we've experienced as a society, as a country, and as human beings, I am thankful that it wasn't worse than it could have been. That is to say that
doesn't sound sarcastic to me.
Yeah, well, here it is.
That sounds serious.
That is to say that that all of my fears won't potentially still come true, but for now, the levee is holding all of the true, unadulterated stupid. It's still right behind the wall of reality. So I am thankful that it is, at least for now, holding.
It's hard to feel thankful that the year wasn't as bad as it could have been. Especially when there's a Native American sitting behind ice bars somewhere, unable to communicate out to the world because they thought he was Mexican. Yeah. And meanwhile, he's a native citizen of this country and he can't contact anybody for weeks. I have a hard time thinking, well, how could it be worse? Right. Well, that's just too much of that.
Segue, I will say, or to deviate a little bit, the episode that's coming out on Monday of the All About Nothing podcast, listen all the way through the episode because my guest, Juan Velasquez, will tell a story of his own interactions with ICE. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a point where we all know somebody who was detained by ICE and kept from communicating with the outside world.
I genuinely
completely stripped of any due process whatsoever.
Yeah, I genuinely have fear for the people, the friends that I have that, my neighbors next door, Jose and his wife, they are from the Dominican Republic. Their skin is darker than mine. They speak Spanish to each other. And
my son-in-law is El Salvadoran.
Yeah.
His parents are immigrants from El Salvador. And now he has to think, how many forms of ID does he have to carry on him? Because if he doesn't have his ID on him, then he can get thrown into a jail cell without any communication to the outside world, just for looking brown.
Yeah. It's extremely.
All right, I'm going to go with my next thankful item.
All right.
I am thankful for 3-Eye Atlas.
Okay.
I really am, because it brought together two of my favorite things, my love of astronomy and my love of conspiracy theories. And it blended them together just personally, and it allowed my Marjorie Taylor Greene freak flag to fly a little bit. Is it an alien? Is it a comet? Is it doing supernatural things? What's going on here? And I just love everything I can possibly hear about it.
I do enjoy every time a 3-Eye Atlas video comes up on my feed. I do really enjoy watching those because they will talk about, like, one of the videos I think I saw recently, and I thought I saw it was reposted by some people that I know, but it had this theory that the 3-Eye Atlas is controlling or somehow creating a gravity well that is either expelling asteroids and potentially other small comets around it away from it, and creating its own environment for it to sail through without potential, impacts to it. I thought that one was really interesting. But the computer video that they showed attached to it literally had 3-Eye Atlas kind of maneuvering around the sun, and you see Mercury for some reason sail off into the distance. And it's like, I haven't seen NASA report Mercury is gone, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy the video nonetheless. Share.
It will not be missed.
Yeah.
All right. What's your next one?
My next one. I am thankful that the Costco $1.50 hot dog and soft drink is still $1.50. In spite of the increasing cost of groceries and the rise in inflation over earnings, Costco has continued to serve members with the availability of a quick, filling meal that, if held to any real standards of dietary health, would never be seen on a menu board again. But it is true. But if it is true that every hot dog takes 2 to 3 days off your life, then that $1.50 savings, as well as the soda, was well worth the cost. After all,
is there a Costco near you?
Over
I
off
didn't
Piney
know
Grove.
that.
It's about 20 minutes away. In fact, I have to go there on Friday to get the last 2 tires put on my car.
So you would spend more in gas to go get your $1.50 hot dog and a drink.
I am an executive
than on the hot
member.
dog and drink.
I'm an executive member at Costco, so I get 2% back every year. So I will make my tire purchases and whatever else.
Okay.
But I'll just say this: it's well worth the cost because I did not know that I have that time available anyway. So 2 or 3 days off for every hot dog you eat, fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I am grateful for Jeffrey Epstein because he helped put to rest that age-old question of, would Republicans vote for a pedophile over a Democrat any day of the week? And now we know the answer.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
wouldn't have known it if it weren't for his heroic efforts.
Yeah. I think the Reagan Republicans, I would have assumed no on, but even the ones that have been in office since Reagan seem to be okay with it.
Now we know.
Oh my gosh. Ami has made a comment. She said, "Where do you think Barrett writes his jokes?" I was in Costco. I was sitting at Costco.
Oh, I was thinking the bathroom, but okay, Costco.
Yeah,
it could be just as good.
All right. Finally, I want to thank me. Over the course of the last year, I've been much more honest about my feelings, and it has had a positive effect on my own well-being. The number of people that have taken my moments of silence to share some video that they think is hilarious or interesting has dropped significantly for me. When the people that shove the phone right in your face. I'll just say this: it is harmful to my vision, because every time somebody puts a phone in front of my face and I'm wearing my contacts, 93% of what you're showing me is completely blurred, and it completely outperforms the 6% that is 6 or 7% that is potentially entertaining. So
well, that's because you just haven't been shown the right kind of phone. And that brings me to my last thankful. I am thankful for my new Trump gold phone.
Oh yeah, how's that working out?
Yeah, it's crisp and clear. It only displays Trump's face and the word MAG on it, but it's really crisp and clear.
Yeah,
that's all it does. When it rings, it says "Quiet, piggy." Right, that's all it does when it rings.
I desperately
this device is awesome.
I desperately want to have a situation where I could potentially say "Quiet, piggy" to somebody. Like, because that's appropriate now. I feel like I need for that scenario to play out so that I can tell someone, "Quiet, piggy." I feel we looked her up. I don't think she remotely resembles in any way, shape, or form anything that someone would confuse.
The rabbit hole you can go down is try to figure out what was Trump thinking, or what had he just read or seen that put that thought in his mind. Like, for example, whenever he talks about immigration out of control and illegals coming over, he says they're releasing them out of their asylums. Right, that's what he always says. They're letting them out of the asylums, mixing up immigrants who are seeking asylum. Right, he mixes it up all the time. So I'm thinking, when he said "Quiet, piggy," was he watching Babe like earlier that day, or was he watching Charlotte's Web? What was he doing? There's actually a movie called Pig, right?
Yeah.
What was he doing? Because it's such a weird thing to say to somebody. He could have said just "Quiet you" or "Quiet biatch" or something.
Yeah.
But piggy is just so odd.
It wasn't odd. It was an odd reaction. And I think that you mentioned Babe and Trump. I now need to see an AI video of Trump sitting in front of a screen watching Babe and a tear rolling down his eye at the end of the movie.
That'll do, piggy.
That'll do. That's what I want. So, yeah, I all of your thankfuls were very good.
I'm thankful for that. See, I had 6. I snuck an extra one in there.
I did not write 6. Damn it. All right. Well, I guess, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. And as far as your job's insurance requirements, I hope that the check on your waist was earlier.
I got
later.
the doctor's waiver. I've been getting the doctor's waivers for 10 years now.
Okay.
I'll get the blood work drawn. I'll fail all the tests, and then I'll get the waiver signed.
There you go.
I'm good. It's just a stupid rule.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree. I am appreciative of the fact that the only thing that my insurance or my health insurance through my employer asks me is, have you smoked any tobacco in the last 12 months? So, not tobacco. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks to everybody for watching. See, I got a 6th one in there. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, you can follow Bill at Political Bill SC and myself at Barrett Gruber. Thanks for liking and hitting that bell. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review or leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, keep your hands to yourself, and have a happy holiday Thanksgiving.